Schedules exist for a reason. Maintenance protocols, inspection timelines, safety checks. They're not suggestions. They're not optional when you're busy. They're the difference between a functional kitchen and a disaster. I'm Knifey. Item number 7. You've heard 2 of my confessions. The birthday party. 12 deaths. Marcus Wellington. Career ended. Both times I failed because of mechanical breakdown, rivets, handle integrity, metal fatigue. But what I didn't tell you is that both failures were predictable. Both were on a schedule to be caught. Both inspections were delayed. This is Season 3, Episode 2, Patterns We Ignore. Check if you're subscribed because this season isn't about accidents, it's about negligence. Write in the comments, have you ever skipped something you knew you shouldn't? Because someone skipped inspecting me, and 4 people paid the price. September 2018, 1 year before Marcus Wellington's Iron Chef injury. I was in a different kitchen, corporate restaurant, national chain, TGI Bennigan's, mid-tier dining, 200 locations across the United States. Standardized everything. Menu, recipes, equipment, procedures, and most importantly, maintenance schedules. Corporate policy, documented in the Operations Manual. Section 4.7, Equipment Inspection and Replacement Protocol. Kitchen knives, professional grade, must be inspected every 6 months by the head chef or kitchen manager. Inspection checklist included handle integrity, rivet tightness, blade sharpness, and overall structural soundness. Any knife showing signs of wear, loosening, or damage must be immediately removed from service and replaced. The inspection was to be logged. Date, inspector name, knives checked, results, documented, filed. Corporate audited these logs quarterly. The system was designed to prevent exactly what happened to me. Prevent failure, prevent injury, prevent liability. The TGI Bennigan's location was in Denver, Colorado. Manager, Richard Torres, age 41. 10 years with the company, competent, experienced, generally followed protocols. The kitchen had 12 professional chef's knives, all Wusthof German steel, 8-inch Iowa's knife number 7, purchased in 2015. 3 years of daily use by September 2018, used for prep work, chopping vegetables, cutting proteins, standard kitchen tasks. I was good at my job, sharp, balanced, reliable, but I was also aging. 3 years of daily use, thousands of cuts, thousands of wash cycles. The rivets holding my handle to my blade were experiencing stress. Microscopic loosening, not visible to casual observation, but detectable during a proper inspection. A 6-month inspection would have caught it. March 2018, my last scheduled inspection. Richard was supposed to perform it. March 15th, he had it on his calendar. Operations Manual required it. But March was a difficult month. To line cooks quit. Training new staff. Spring break rush. The restaurant was slammed. Busy every night. Richard was working double shifts, managing front and back of house, inventory, scheduling, hiring, training. He saw the inspection reminder, March 15th. He looked at his calendar that day, thought about doing it, then got a call. Kitchen emergency, walk-in freezer malfunction, food safety issue. Had to deal with it immediately. The inspection got pushed. I'll do it tomorrow, he thought. Tomorrow came, different emergency. Health inspector showed up unannounced. 2 hours of scrambling to ensure everything was compliant. Inspection got pushed again. End of March arrived. Richard realized he'd missed the scheduled inspection. He made a note. Do it early April. Catch up. April 2018. He didn't do it in April either. Different problems. Regional manager visiting. Corporate evaluation. Everything had to be perfect. Richard focused on front of house appearance, service speed, customer satisfaction scores. The knife inspection, while important, felt less urgent than impressing corporate. The visit went well. Regional manager praised the location. Richard got a bonus. The inspection remained undone. He told himself he'd do it in May. Definitely May. May 2018. Didn't happen. One of the ovens broke. Major equipment failure. Required contractor. Downtime. Menu adjustments. The kitchen ran at reduced capacity for 2 weeks while waiting for parts. Richard was focused on keeping service running despite the setback. Knife inspection wasn't even on his radar. June arrived. The inspection was now 3 months overdue. The operations manual was clear. Overdue inspections should be escalated, reported to corporate, but Richard didn't report it. Reporting would mean explaining why he'd missed it. Potential reprimand. Ding on his record. He decided to just do the inspection quietly, catch up without making it official. He scheduled it for late June, June 25th. Blocked 2 hours on his calendar. This time, he'd actually do it. June 25th, 2018, morning of the scheduled inspection. Richard arrived at work, pulled out the checklist, was about to start when his phone rang. His mother, medical emergency. She'd fallen, hospitalized. He needed to go now. He left immediately, drove to the hospital, spent the next 3 days with her. She was okay. Broken hip, surgery, recovery. But those 3 days meant the inspection got pushed again. He returned to work, June 28th, exhausted, emotionally drained. The inspection checklist was still on his desk. He looked at it, thought about doing it, then got pulled into a staff meeting. Forgot about it again. July 2018. 4 months overdue now. I was still in daily use. My rivets were loosening more. Still not visible. Still functional, but deteriorating. A proper inspection with the checklist would have included a torque test, applying pressure to the handle to check rivet tightness. That test would have revealed the loosening. I would have been removed from service, replaced. Instead, I continued being used. Every day, multiple times per day. Prep cook Miguel used me most often. Vegetables, proteins, fast cuts, efficient. He never noticed anything wrong. The handle felt fine. The blade was sharp. Everything seemed normal, because the loosening was internal, structural, not yet symptomatic. August 2018. 5 months overdue. Corporate audit. Quarterly review. Regional manager visited again. Reviewed logs. Operations manual compliance. Asked to see the equipment inspection logs. Richard showed him the logs. March 15th. Inspection completed. Check marks. Everything fine, except it was fake. Richard had filled out the form without actually doing the inspection. He'd signed it, dated it March 15th, listed all 12 knives as inspected and passed. The regional manager glanced at it, saw the date, saw the signature, approved, moved on to other items. The fake documentation passed the audit because audits are based on paperwork, not physical reality. As long as the form was filled out, corporate was satisfied. Nobody actually verified the inspection happened. September 2018, 6 months overdue. If the March inspection had happened, the next one would be due. But since March was faked, the next real one wouldn't be scheduled until September 15th. Except Richard wasn't planning to do that one either. He was planning to fake it again. Less work, no different from the last time. Corporate didn't check, just fill out the form, sign it, file it, easy. He planned to do exactly that. September 15th came. He filled out the form, knife inspection completed. All knives passed, signed, filed. Another fake. I was now 6 months overdue for a real inspection. My rivets were significantly looser, still functioning, still being used daily, but nearing failure. October 12th, 2018. Saturday night, dinner rush. The restaurant was packed. Reservation backlog, 45-minute wait, kitchen running at maximum capacity. Miguel was on the line. South Station. Fast-paced, hot, stressful. He was prepping for a ticket. Chicken marsala. Needed mushrooms sliced. He grabbed me. Knife number 7, started slicing. Fast, practiced cuts. Halfway through the prep, he felt something. The handle shifted, microscopically. He didn't think about it. Kept cutting. The shift happened again. Bigger this time. The rivet had finally loosened to the point of failure. The handle wasn't secure anymore. One more cut. The handle twisted. The blade angled wrong. Miguel's hand, pressing down on the handle, slipped. His left hand, holding the mushroom, was in the path. The blade went through the mushroom and into his left index finger. Deep cut, diagonal across the finger pad. He yelled, dropped the knife. Blood everywhere. The kitchen stopped. Chef saw it, grabbed a towel, pressed it to Miguel's hand. How bad? Miguel pulled the towel back. The cut was deep, through the skin, into the tissue, maybe tendon damage. They couldn't tell. Shep said, we need to get you to the ER. Now, Miguel was pale, shocked, in pain. Another cook drove him to the hospital. Denver General. Saturday night. Crowded. They waited 90 minutes. Finally seen. Doctor examined the cut, cleaned it. Definitely tendon involvement. Flexor tendon partially severed. You'll need surgery. Microsurgery. They scheduled it for Monday morning. Miguel was given pain medication, antibiotics, sent home with his hand wrapped, told not to use it, wait for surgery. Monday, October 15th. Surgery, 2 hours. Microsurgeon repaired the tendon, reconnected the fibers, stitched everything carefully. Recovery prognosis, 6 to 8 weeks. Physical therapy required. Likely to regain 80 to 90% function. For a line cook, that's not great. Hand dexterity is everything. Speed, precision, control. Miguel was worried but hopeful. Maybe 90% would be enough. The surgeon said, we'll see how therapy goes. Depends on healing. Richard visited Miguel in the hospital, post-surgery. Asked what happened. Miguel explained. Knife handle shifted. Blade slipped, cut his finger. Richard asked which knife. Miguel said number 7, the Woodstoff. Richard felt a sinking feeling. He went back to the restaurant, pulled me from the line, examined me for the first time in 6 months. Really examined me. He checked the rivets, pressed on the handle. It had play, visible movement, loose. He tested the other rivets. Same issue. Both rivets holding the handle were loose. Structural failure. He looked at the inspection log. Last inspection, September 15th, signed by him. Result, passed. But he hadn't actually inspected me, hadn't touched me, hadn't tested the rivets. He'd just filled out the form. And now Miguel was in the hospital with a partially severed tendon because Richard had faked an inspection. Richard didn't know what to do. Report it to corporate. Admit he'd faked the inspections. Risk his job. Or stay quiet. Claim it was just a freak accident. Knife failure. Happens sometimes. He decided to stay quiet. Removed me from service. Put me in a box. Labeled it damaged equipment. Discard. Didn't report the fake inspection. Didn't tell corporate about the structural failure. Just quietly got rid of me. Ordered a replacement knife. Installed it. Moved on. Corporate never knew. Miguel's recovery didn't go well. 8 weeks of physical therapy. November, December. By January 2019, he had regained 70% function. Not 90. 70. His index finger had limited range of motion. Weak grip strength. Couldn't perform the fast, precise cuts required on the line. He tried to return to work. January 15th, 2019. First shift back, he struggled. Slower than before. Hand cramped. Shook under stress. Made mistakes. After 3 shifts, he talked to Richard. I can't do this. It's not working. Richard said take more time. Recover more. Miguel said it's been 3 months. The surgeon said this is as good as it gets. Richard didn't know what to say. Miguel said I need to step back. I can't keep up. Richard transferred him. Prep cook to dishwasher. Same restaurant. Lower pay. less skilled position, but Miguel could handle it with his injured hand. He stayed in that role for 6 months, then quit, found work outside food service, warehouse job, packing boxes, something his injured hand could manage. His career as a line cook was over. 2 months later, March 2019, I was still in the damaged equipment box in the storage room. Richard hadn't actually thrown me away, just put me there and forgot about me. A new kitchen manager started, reorganizing, found the box, saw a knife inside, looked fine to him, handle seemed okay, blade sharp. He didn't know my history, didn't know about Miguel. He put me back in service, different TGI Bennigan's location. Restaurant equipment sometimes gets redistributed when locations open or close. I ended up in a Dallas location, used there for 6 months. No issues because the loosening had been partial. The rivets still had some grip, but the damage was done. Structural integrity compromised. And then I was sold at a restaurant equipment auction, April 2019. That's when Marcus Wellington bought me for his Iron Chef America appearance. Used me in the competition. The rivet failed again. Same structural issue. His career ended. All traceable back to October 2018. Miguel's injury, Richard's fake inspection. The pattern was clear. OSHA investigated Miguel's injury. Routine workplace accident report. October 2018. They asked for the inspection logs. Richard provided them. Showed the September 15th inspection. Everything passed. OSHA looked at the logs. Saw documentation. Closed the investigation. Workplace accident. Equipment failure. Happens sometimes. No violation found, because the paperwork said the inspection happened. Nobody verified it was real. They sent me here. Item number 7. Not just for Marcus Wellington in 2019. Not just for the birthday party in 2022. For Miguel Rodriguez. Line cook, age 28. Career ended at 28 because a manager faked an inspection to save time. October 2018. If Richard had done the March inspection, or April, or May, or June, if he'd done any of the inspections he was supposed to do, my rivet loosening would have been caught. I would have been removed from service, replaced. Miguel would still be a line cook. Marcus Wellington would still be a chef. 12 people at the birthday party would still be alive. All preventable, all scheduled, all skipped. Here's what bothers me most. The pragmatic part of me. Richard wasn't malicious. He wasn't trying to hurt anyone. He was just busy, overwhelmed, trying to manage a restaurant with too few staff and too many problems. The inspection felt like paperwork, bureaucracy, something he could skip without consequences. And for 6 months, there were no consequences. Until there were. Until Miguel's finger. Until the tendon damage. Until the career ending. And even then, Richard faced no real consequences. Miguel got hurt. Miguel's career ended. Richard kept his job, kept managing, kept faking inspections, probably, because the system didn't catch him. The audit didn't catch him. OSHA didn't catch him. The paperwork was enough. Reality didn't matter. That was my third confession. The inspection that was scheduled. The inspection that was skipped. The inspection that was faked. 6 times. March through September 2018. 6 months of opportunities to catch the rivet failure. 6 months of choosing convenience over safety. And Miguel paid the price. Not with his life. With his career. His livelihood. His identity as a cook. And 3 other people later. Marcus Wellington. Career ended 2019. 12 people at a birthday party. Dead 2022. All connected to the same structural failure. All preventable with a 15-minute inspection. All victims of a schedule that was ignored. If this story made you think about the things you skip, hit the like button. Write in the comments, what maintenance have you been putting off? And subscribe to Spoony and Friends. Season 3. Next time, Spike tells us about the recall notice that got buried. See you in the next confession.